Yes, you read the title correctly. I do think that XRP has a chance of going back down to 50 cents. And I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear that, but hear me out. I have a very good plan for if or when that happens. And we're going to be discussing why it might also not happen, but we need to be prepared for both sides of the coin. And either way, I plan to make money. That's my goal. What's your goal? And if we take a look at the news today, we can see US records 108,000 job cuts last month, making the worst January since the 2009 Great Recession. What does this mean? Does it mean doom and gloom? Does it mean worry? Well, I have to say, in the short term, this could be bad, extremely bad, yes, for the economy. However, if you're someone who has been waiting for liquidity, someone who has been waiting or hoping for rate cuts, then this just might be the straw or one of the straws that break the camel's back and give us what we want, which is, of course, rate cuts. Who else wants rate cuts? This guy right here. He wants that, in my opinion, to sort out the debt problem that the US has. And I actually think a lot of what he's been doing recently has a lot to do with that. Now, what does all of this have to do with anything, right? Well, the markets are closed this weekend, but we can see that Bitcoin is actually moving upwards, but the market is rising a little bit today. Now, could this be rising because on Friday we saw this jobs report? This jobs report wasn't good. Bad news equals good news. Good news is rate cuts. But guys, you have to remember that also rate cuts mean the economy is not in a great position. So we might need to see some pain. We might need to sustain some pain in order to get rate cuts and get what we want, turning on the liquidity machine. But remember, the liquidity machine isn't actually a good thing. However, if you're invested into assets, I believe that's our best way to protect from the moves. Now, that's what's good. Bitcoin has broken to the upside, but I'd be watching very carefully to see what happens with Bitcoin. As I've been talking about here on this channel for a long time, right? Bitcoin dictates what the rest of the market does. I think of Bitcoin as like the S&P 500. When the S&P 500 is up, right, most of the other stocks are up. When Bitcoin is up, a lot of the other cryptos are up, like what we're seeing with XRP today. Now, yesterday I did share with you guys my XRP automatic buy and sell grid that I set up over on Pionex. Now, I've set this to go all the way down to 50 cents, to buy all the way down to 50 cents. But why would I set it all the way down to 50 cents? Why would I do that if today, for example, XRP is not looking too terrible? Well, guys, like I said, we have to prepare for two sides of the coin, one being bullish, one being bearish. And then we have to set our game, right? We have to set it up so what we won't be annihilated if we go down and we'll benefit if we go up. I've bought here. If we go up, it will take profits. I'll make a little bit of money. If it goes down, right, it will add in, and on the bounces, it will actually hopefully take some profits. So we can see that the accumulation phase is right around here, a low of about 43 to 39 cents, and then a high of really 66 cents or 94 cents, depending on what you want to call it. But this region, right, is the region I accumulated heavily for XRP in the last bear market. So the reason I think this could happen again is simple. The last bull market, right, 2021, XRP went to $1.90. It then went all the way back down to the region it was before the bull market before that. So XRP has a tendency, right, to go back down to the lows. It spends most of its time above those, but you can see it does tend to go back down to those lows. So this could probably happen once again. You can see it spent most of its time here. This was the bear market between this high right here and the next high. The resistance was 31 cents. The bottom was 10 cents. And funnily enough, the support, right, is 30 cents in the next bear market. And the resistance, 74-ish. 60, 74. So what we can see from that is most likely we can come down to this region to put previous resistance into a support. It's logical, right? It's logical that that could happen. Now, in order for this to happen, of course, we're going to have to see Bitcoin continue this bearish trend. Now, does Bitcoin have a second leg on the cards. I think it does, considering right here we had a 50% pullback and then we went on to new all-time high. So according to history, it's possible that this low could just be a low before the next high. But I think it's very important we hold above 70,000. If we lose really 69 to 70,000 once again, it's more and more likely we at least head into this box and then we head lower. 30 to 37,000 is the bear case for me, the bear case scenario for this bear market. We're given the same pullback trajectory that we had in the last one. So if Bitcoin can go that low, believe you me, so can XRP. No matter how bullish you are on XRP, no matter how high you think XRP can go, these things are possible. So right now I have my spot XRP bag, which I took 25% of that bag at $2.75, which I shared with you here on this channel, right? I then just waited and I have the rest. It's still there and I'm very happy with that position. I will accumulate significantly more XRP if we go back down to that range of about 50 cents, because that's my average right now. And I was happy with my position before, so I'm happy with my position still now. I'm still up significantly on the position. And when we get back down, or if we get back down, I'm happy to accumulate at those ranges. These are long-term investments. My spot bag is there for 5 years, 10 years. That's the plan, right? It's not an overnight rich, become a millionaire overnight success idea. It's a slow accumulation. It was years of accumulation before we had this big rally, took some profits off the top. And by the way, guys, at 25% profit taking, if your average is 50 cents, right? 50 cents to $1.75, I then take 25% of that position. Guess what? I've pretty much covered my initial investment. So then I can sustain the ebbs and the flows. No matter how high we go, no matter how low we go, it doesn't matter, because I'm playing with the house's money. And that's my goal here in crypto, to have positions that I've basically accumulated using the house's money. So that's my goal there for the spot market. For the leverage market, I'll probably enter a long at some point. I'll let you guys know. And guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.